Once upon a time. Welcome to Australian Book Lovers, your destination for imagination.
Australian Book Lovers acknowledges First Nations peoples and recognises their continuous connection to country, community and to culture. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging, and honour the sharing of traditional stories passed down through generations. We're committed to a safe and inclusive welcome for authors and readers of all cultures and backgrounds, including people of LGBTQIA+ communities and their families.
Welcome everyone. At ABL, our mission is not only about celebrating and sharing fabulous Australian and Indigenous authored books of all genres with readers around the globe. It's about finding fantastic resources and information for authors looking to write their next book or two or three or their first book. So what better resource than getting into the writer's room of some of these authors and asking them to share their experiences. Now, this is episode 169. Nice. And I am Laurie Bell. I'm a science fiction and fantasy author, blogger, reviewer, flash fiction writer, and just loves talking about books. And I'm your co-host today, coming to you from Wurundjeri Woiwurrung country. Hello,
Brilliant.
Frino.
Hello, Laurie. And yeah, I don't know, this is just 169 is amazing, and what a fabulous group that we've got here today. So I am Veronica Strachan, aka V Patton, author of fantasy, sci-fi, memoir and picture books, coming to you from the beautiful Woiwurrung Wurundjeri country down here in, I was going to say sunny Melbourne, but we've got Sydney people on and they're not going to believe me anyway. Anyway, so here we are with episode 169. We do like to have a bit of a dig at Sydney, but it's all fair unless somebody else has a dig at us, and then
I'm feeling a little
join
bit.
ranks.
I think we're hiding away in our little Melbourne-ness today, Veronica, because we have
Yes.
4 amazing writers, all from Sydney. I feel like you've come to gang up on us, guys.
We have.
All right, so we have Sydney Authors Inked. We have with us Maria P Frino. G'day, Maria.
Hi.
Whose country are you on today, Maria?
Gadigal of the Eora Nation.
Lovely.
So, Sydney.
Beautiful. And Hayley Walsh, where are you coming to from? Where are you coming to us from today? That was a bit
I'm
more
coming from
wonderful.
Darug Country, which is in far western Sydney at the base of the beautiful Blue Mountains.
And they are absolutely beautiful up there. Yes. So hello, Conchita. It is lovely to see you on ABL again. Whose traditional country are you on this morning?
I am from Derek country.
Fantastic. All right. And last but certainly not least is a newbie for Australian book lovers, Srinivasan. How are you?
Hi, good, thank you. Good.
And whose traditional country are you on, Uma?
I'm from Gadigal land.
Beautiful. So we know we're here. We know what's happening. And Laurie, you want to take us in? We're going to give everybody's bio and a little blurb, and then we're going to dive into your books and all about Sydney Authors Inked.
Which I can't wait to hear more about, because I know, Veronica, you've gotten to pop in and visit Sydney Inked.
I did
but
indeed, yeah.
I haven't, so I want to hear all about everything. So let me tell you about Hayley Walsh. Hayley is an Australian author of light-hearted fiction. Hayley was born and bred in Sydney and lives with her partner and 2 stepsons in Sydney's greater western suburbs. She loves animals, don't all writers, is a coffee addict and has a wicked sense of humour. Hayley's sense of humour is brought to life in her storytelling, and she loves to make people laugh by writing fun Australian stories they can relate to. And that is 100% true. I've related to so many of the books that you've written, Hayley.
Yes, and spitting coffee, laugh out loud. I love that.
Yeah. So I'll tell you a little bit about Making March, which is the book we're going to talk about for Hayley Walsh today. So Kate feels old, alone, and regrettably round. It's the 1st of February, and today happens to be her 40th birthday. This month, she must survive a pending divorce, raising her offspring spawn from Satan and being a maid of honor, a fellow bridesmaid from hell, multiple dress fittings, and a meddling mother. Can she make it to March without losing her marbles? Ah, such a fun book, Hayley.
That was a great read. It really was. Yes.
Feels like a lifetime ago when I read that book now, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So, Hayley, tell us a little bit about your writing and your writing style. What inspires you to put the stories on paper?
The main thing that inspires me is real life. So life experience, being able to laugh at life, and my job. So I'm an aged care nurse consultant at Concord Hospital, which is one of Sydney's big teaching hospitals. And I hear lots of stories, and I'm inspired by my work as well. So most of my books are older characters, sort of 40 plus. And older women quite often feel invisible. So I like to write relatable stories about women. Yeah.
I
So
think
where
that's
my
why I
inspiration
laughed
comes
out loud with Making March, because I was 40 that year that I read it, and I was laughing so hard because I just related to everything.
Yeah, yeah. And look, I turned 50. I can't believe I turned 50 a week and a half ago. So now I'm in the throes of perimenopause. So I think I should write something about that. So
Definitely. I
100%.
know.
Before we go
Laurie,
too much further, have you been watching the Scrubs reboot, Hayley?
No, I haven't.
They did a menopause episode with the head nurse, and it was marvelous. You have to watch it. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there because I watched it the other day and I was in tears.
I will. I'll check it out for sure. For sure.
All right, let's jump on to
Yes.
Maria P Frino. Maria, here we
Hi.
are. Australian author known for writing, wait for it, contemporary, science fantasy and historical fiction, and her work often explores themes of family, resilience, and the impact of personal events on individual lives. Maria's style is characterised by rich storytelling with a particular focus on human frailty and relationships, allowing readers to be immersed in her character-driven stories. Her writing is both emotional and evocative, appealing to readers who enjoy stories that interweave personal and historical narratives. Absolutely. So here's the blurb for The Robot's Heart by Maria P Frino. In a fractured future where humanity clings to survival as it is traumatized by terrorist clans, TRAI robots are created to serve, protect and obey. They were never meant to feel. The Robot's Heart, Toria's story, shows how a robot may develop human feelings. Toria rescues a boy from the toxic second zone of the harbour city and immediately knows she needs to protect him. Mannix becomes her first priority. The TRAI community was built to protect humans, robots who know their place and take orders. Toria heads this community, and along with Mannix, they form a close bond, allowing them to change the course of the terrorists' plans. With themes of friendship, family, magical realism, and the effect of climate change and artificial intelligence, follow Toria, the rescued boy, and the people of Harbour City as they work together to eradicate the scum making their lives unbearable. Yay!
Yes.
Go, Maria. And Harbour City, I'm just going to say it's based on Sydney.
Yeah, dystopian Sydney. Yes.
Yeah,
Awesome.
fantastic. So tell us a little bit about what inspired The Robot's Heart.
I write young adult fiction as well. So I think everything that's going on about AI and the fact that, we're getting robot voices in our audiobooks, and I just started thinking about that and thought, well, what's going to happen to humans if we keep heading down this path of cancelling us? Yeah, it was all of that. And I like science fantasy and, making up worlds and stories. It's great.
Yeah, other worlds, bring them on.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Okay, well, let's move on to our next. We've got so many writers. It's so exciting. Conchita GarSantiago. So let me tell you a bit about Conchita. So Conchita grew up and studied in Spain. After finishing her studies, she moved to London and acquired a degree in English at Cambridge University and another at the London Business School. She met her Australian husband, and so it was her life journeyed to this beautiful country. Perhaps it was the beauty of the surroundings that prompted her to start writing. She did several courses and also participated in and created different writing groups. Her stories have been published in different websites, local magazines, and she has contributed to 2 different anthologies with 2 stories in each of them. I'll tell you a little bit about A Cry from Home. A Cry from Home relates the story of a family living in Spain during the Spanish Civil War. After the army has arrived to their town, they're forced to leave because Louis, the head of the family, is a well-known socialist and fears for his own life and the lives of his family, his wife, 2 young daughters, and mother-in-law. They start on a frightening journey where they have to face the horrors of the war. They leave Spain to cross an inhospitable border into France, where they must stay until they are able to go any further. And that's a lot of women that he is surrounded by, Conchita. What inspired you to write this one?
Well, the historical facts are the real ones, and then the family is vaguely based on my own family. So yeah, 2 daughters, the wife and the mother-in-law who was living with them. They all go through the horrors of life, of the war.
Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting. We had, I love that there are so many non-English stories about the turmoil that is around us in the world. You know, we had Angelina Mastropolito and talking about, the Italians, some of the background, the Italians and the fascists and that there, and just the impact of all of those, terrible things that happen on families and the generational trauma. It's just amazing. So thank you, Conchita, for sharing that.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you for allowing me.
Yeah. All right. Now,
right.
last but certainly not least,
Yes.
Uma, let me tell you, Dr. Uma Srinivasan writes from the land of the Wangal people in Sydney. She was born in the Temple Town. Now, you might have to correct my pronunciation here, Uma. Born in the Temple Town of Chidambaran.
Perfect,
And
Chidambaram. Exactly. Yeah.
lovely, and raised in Mysore. She enjoys a fulfilling career as a computer scientist in both India and Australia before turning to writing full time. So I'm a little bit jealous that you are writing full time. This is our dream, I think, of everybody on the screen. All right. Uma's journey into historical fiction began with the English translation of her mother's Tamil novel, Nandinayakan, a temple builder, published in 2015. In 2024, Uma also co-authored the children's book Chaos in the Gym with her granddaughter Annika Kuba, and what a lovely story that is. So Uma is passionate about history written on lost services. Her next work focuses on history recorded on South Indian textile prints. Absolutely fascinating. Let's hear the blurb for Etched in Gold. Etched in Gold brings alive a forgotten chapter of South Indian history through the intertwining lives of 2 courageous women, one from 1610, the other from 2010, each seeking liberation through music, memory and voice. Set in Tanjore, 1610, the novel follows Amber, a gifted composer and temple musician yearning to break free from the constraints of her role. She catches the eye of King Raghu Nayaka and is drawn into a world of politics, power and peril. Amber documents the king's reign, an extraordinary act for a woman of her time, on palm leaves, leaving behind a rare Sanskrit biography of a South Indian ruler. 4 centuries later, Maya, a contemporary musician from Chennai, finds herself creatively stifled in Sydney. On a soul-searching trip through Tanjore, Maya discovers Amber's forgotten manuscript. The resilience and artistry of this historical figure emboldens Maya to reclaim her own voice and present a bold fusion of South Indian ragas and Western classical music at a Sydney festival. So Etched in Gold is a novel about cultural memory, artistic defiance, and the enduring legacy of women's voices. Fantastic. Yeah, I can see it. And so you've joined your passion with your culture and writing. So computer scientist to writer, where was the inspiration to start your own fiction?
Well, see, one is I've been interested in history, which is not recorded, because when we were studying history, it was all about British history. I grew up in India, so it was all about British history and colonialism, and then before that, the Mughal history. But it's what they chose to tell, not
Yes.
really what happened, particularly in South India. because neither the British nor the Mughals had total domination over South India as they did over North India. And there were a lot of great scholars and women poets, which my mother always used to talk about. She was a scholar and a poet as well. So there's people don't know the stories of these scholarly women hidden away, never written about. So that was an important thing. That was always fascinating me. So I used to read about these women, and I've talked, when people in places here in Sydney, they ask me to talk about, I always talk about hidden queens, hidden poets, women whose lives are not talked about. So that's my interest. And then the interest in, then wanted to do a bit more research, but when I was busy working, I didn't have much time. Then when my mother asked me to translate, and her story was written for the Tamil audience who knew Tanjore already. So to write it for the family, the scope was very limited, not for an international audience. She just said translate it for the family. So I translated that book. But then I had to understand the history myself because I hadn't visited all those places she had talked about. Then I took long service leave. I was still working at the time, so I had long service leave. So, and then I went and visited all those places, which is when I went to this ancient library. It's one of the oldest libraries in India and has some very rare manuscripts the world over. I mean, it has a very old Bible. It has a French chemist Lavoisier's original notes. And then amongst all that, there was this palm leaf manuscript in Sanskrit written by this woman. That is a true story. So this
That is
Amba
just
was a
amazing.
true person actually who lived and
Wow.
never recorded. So that got me interested. And then the digging up, the research was close to my heart. I mean, research is the fun part, isn't it? So anyway, I am a researcher. So I enjoyed the research, traveling, and used travel. It's an excuse to travel now, just holidays.
It's
So
research and all tax deductible now, Irma, so that's fantastic.
exactly. So it's all sort of, and then I am very quite passionate about music as
Hmm.
well. So I'm
Hmm.
a musician of sorts, but I don't play professionally anymore. But it's for my own self. So I play Indian music. I also learned the piano, the Western music, and I try to infuse ragas into Bach's Arioso. It's my
Ah.
fun. And then I said, oh, I've got to bring that into the book. In any case,
Mm.
Absolutely
Amba
right. What
was
you
a
know.
poet and a musician, and that
Yeah.
was the period of music. So it kind of, all came together in this book.
Yeah.
Oh,
Beautiful.
love it.
What a combination, Laurie.
Yeah. I know. We have so many amazing writers. So tell us about how Sydney Authors Inc. came about. I
Uh,
don't even know who wants to start. Maria.
well, Sydney Authors Inc. came from a writing group that Conchita and myself are still part of. And we decided, why don't we do our own book festival and our own talks? And that, oh, look, I don't remember how long ago it was. It must have been 5, 6 years ago because I know we went through COVID. And since then, we have interviewed and hosted the most wonderful local authors. We're thinking about doing maybe some Zooms like this with interstate authors. And then we had the lovely Veronica come up to see us for one of our last ones in Summer Hill. At the moment, we're doing Writers at the Pub, which
Love it.
is a local
Sounds
pub in
perfect,
Thornview.
really.
Yeah, it's so much fun, Veronica and Laurie. I mean, it's just awesome. And we do that around once a month. It's a lot of work, but we all try and work in together. And the Wednesday afternoon seems to be working well. We did one evening event, and we've got 2 more this year. But what I find amazing about Sydney Authors Inc. is the variety of authors that we have had. There's self-published as well as traditional, and they're all so happy when they come and see us, and that people are actually coming in. So yeah, we're having a ball, aren't we, everybody?
Yeah,
Yes, we are becoming very well known.
Yeah.
and meeting
Yeah,
new
we're
people,
really
readers
pleased
and
with it.
writers.
And being in the pub, we can enjoy a nice glass of wine as well. So it's
Yeah.
even better.
Well,
It's even
espresso
better.
martini for me in the
Oh, even better. Nice.
Why am I not
You have
surprised?
the whole pub at your disposal, whatever, sorry, you have the whole bar for you to choose whichever drink you want.
Yes.
Can
Yes.
the
And you
bar's
don't have to worry
lovely.
about it. Yeah.
There's no problem about that.
So why was because why is important, you know, I mean, people talk about they will forget what you do, but they won't forget why you made them do it or how you made them feel and all of those kind of things. There, I mashed Simon Sinek and the beautiful Maya Angelou's there together. Did you see what I did there? Yeah. Anyway, why did you think that this was a good idea?
Well, it was actually Conchita's idea. We were doing markets and doing a few things, and it happened to be at a market at Summer Hill that I found the Little Big House, which was the hall that we were in that Veronica, you saw. Lovely little spot. And we were there for a year. Unfortunately, parking isn't great in that area. So, you know, we started getting 30 up to 40 people sometimes. And then, yeah, which was great. But then the parking became an issue and people didn't come back. And so we left it, and we actually thought about not doing SAI anymore, which was really sad for us. And then another author who isn't here, Anna, she found a little market here in Drummoyne, which is only a 5-minute drive away for me. And we did 2 little markets, and then they got scrapped. So anyway, I'm now one of the directors of the co-op, and we run workshops. We sell our books there. We have art exhibitions, and it's called the Studios Lyox Gallery, and it's next to the pub. So writers at the pub is really quite easy for me because I just get the stuff out of the shop and bring it upstairs. Yeah,
The
sorry,
thing is
really
that,
easy.
sorry, Maria.
Yeah, so Conchita, yeah, please go ahead.
No, what I wanted to say is that there is not a proper market for books, and more especially in the way that we are selling from the authors themselves. If you want to go to a market that is already done, it's mainly a craft market. And they are beautiful, but they are not specialized in books. And then if you say, okay, I want a market specialized in books, then it's secondhand books. So, that's how the idea came. Well, let's make our own book, our own markets, and promote as authors selling their own books.
Yeah. So you've got writing, you've got publishing, and you've got promotion. So writing, look, we've got historical fiction, lighthearted fiction. We've got, you know,
Sci-fi
Maria's
fiction.
sci-fi memory, fantasy and
all
everything.
genres.
Contemporary. You've got the whole just in these 4 writers. And obviously other writers are bringing different. So how do you support each other's writing? Let's look at that first of all. And Conchita and Maria, you said you're still in a writing group. Does Sydney Authors Inc. look at, you know, do you do critiques of each other's work, or is there any part of that?
Well, I think we have to difference a bit, because the writers group we belong to is Writers on the Water, and that's more a proper writer's book where we read our stories and we give our opinions to each other. And for me, it's very helpful, because obviously you are writing, and so many times you think that your story is good. Then you read it, and the one next to you says, oh, I don't understand there what you're saying. So obviously that helps you to make your writing better. Sydney Authors Inc. is more in the way of promotion and in the way of helping each other more general with talks and interviews. help each other to get become better known in the world of writers.
Yeah. We,
But Maria, we did have one or two sessions where authors came together with their books to read, right? Was it at the
Yes,
gallery
Yeah.
yes,
next
it's
door?
part
yeah,
of the promotion, part
Yeah.
of the promotion that Sydney Authors Inc. does. Yeah.
Yes, we did do a book readings thing at the gallery.
At the gallery, I think.
Yeah, that's right. And that started the idea in my head about Writers at the Pub. And Writers at the Pub is to help promote the authors, and they're usually local authors, to get readers meeting the author. And I mean, obviously we sell one or two books as well. So it helps the authors to get out there. And I had one author at our last one, Alan Tegg, and he said, you know, there's a lot of work putting these things together. What makes you do it? And I said, well, it's the writer's journey. We like to talk about our experience, and maybe the new writers that are coming up and listening to us won't make as many mistakes as we did, or I did.
You save them just a little bit of pain. Yes, absolutely,
Yes.
Maria. I'm with you. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Hayley, how did you get involved in Sydney Authors Inc.?
Yeah, because I mean, like geographically, I'm the furthest one away. I'm not part of the writers group that the other girls are part of. But social media queen here do a lot of, like I'll make sure that that's getting out there. I don't make it to as many events as I would like to, unfortunately. But it just came about, I guess, because, Maria and I have been good friends since I first came onto social media with my writing. And one day she just said, "Hey, would you like to be part of this?" And I said, "Absolutely." And I'm, and I think it's just lovely that we inspire people, so we get people that come to the events who go, "Oh, I've been thinking about writing a book," and then they walk away inspired to actually start to put pen to paper. So
Fantastic.
yeah, I guess that's how, isn't it, Maria? That's how I became involved. You just sort of said, "Hey, do you want to help us out
Yeah.
with this?" And
Yeah.
One
And
thing-
actually, I have a group of people coming to see me at the gallery soon that want to join. Now, what want to join means, I'm not sure, but anyway, I'm seeing them soon. So we're growing.
It's
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah, and
Yes.
one beautiful thing that happened in the last market that we were, Maria, I don't know if you remember, we were trying to sell our books, and this lady came, and I started to speak to her, and she said, "Oh, I have never read a book in my life." And I said, "Well, you should try." "Oh, no, I don't feel like reading books. It's too much. It's very long stories, blah, blah, blah." And I have a book that is a collection of 40 short stories. And I said, "Look, why don't you start with one of these that they are very short and you can just pass the pages until you find something that you like." And she took one. And she went to the table that was on the other side. She was reading there for a very, very, very long time. I thought that was beautiful. I mean, a woman confessed she had never read a book, and she took one of ours, and she was reading and reading there for a very long time.
That is
Yeah, I
beautiful.
remember that. It's great.
Yeah. We talked to Bo Kitty in one of the last sessions, and one of her book is similar, Conchita, in that she's got a whole lot of very short. I think she's had like 90 little
92, I
stories.
think. Yeah,
92,
92
yes.
chapters, small chapters. Yeah.
Yeah. And she had a similar experience where people were saying, "I couldn't read a book, but I could read yours," because they were just like reading short articles, and it actually gave those people back a bit of a love of reading, and they could see that they could read. Whereas, looking at maybe a doorstop, like, Maria, some of ours
that's
are doorstops, the
obviously will
sci-fi
give,
ones. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
that's
indeed.
obviously will give way for them to read big books.
Yeah,
And
fantastic.
the other reason is, we're so time poor now with all the distractions with social media and videos and all sorts of things. And people want shorter books. Like, there is a thing happening where the novel can now be 70,000 words, not 90,000 words.
Yes.
So everything's getting shorter because we don't have the patience anymore.
Which is bizarre, isn't it? Yeah, it is absolutely bizarre.
But the phone, the TV, everything is taking the time that you could otherwise put into reading.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. We need to calm the scrolling and feed the muse is what I think. Yeah, I read a beautiful article by one of our authors and discovered Substack, which I know means that I've now got another thing to look at. I don't know how that works, but anyway, I do love to read articles, and in my work role, I love those sort of complex academic stuff and the neuropsychology and all of those things behind coaching and the human sciences stuff. So I still do love those ones, but I also like a brick of a sci-fi book, and I like a punchy crime thriller. So I just got to get on and keep reading. And don't ask me if my book is still in editing. Yes, it is in editing. And I do like an M dash. I just thought the other day when I saw that thing about M dashes, oh, for goodness sakes. Yeah. So no one is going to say that my book was written by AI because it's taken me 5 years to write it. So an AI would not have spent 5 years putting M dashes.
I feel like putting a disclaimer on mine with there are M dashes. Yes. They are used gratuitously. Yes. Suck it up and read it.
Yeah. My latest blog post, I actually just wrote a post about, how can we protect ourselves from being accused of writing AI, because it's depressing.
It is depressing. And Shakespeare used them, for goodness sakes. Just get on. Anyway, let's not talk about AI. Let's talk about what have been for you as authors the most successful promotion events or channels, or and what do we say is good promotion? Is it selling books, or is it getting your faces out there? Is it getting your covers recognized? What is success, and what has helped you be more successful?
I think the first step is to get ourselves known, and I think with Sydney Authors Inc. we are little by little getting that. Mm-hmm. And then obviously, it's always good when you sell books.
Definitely. Uma, yeah.
I think, for me, it's promoting a lost part of history. So I think if I'm able to tell the story to more people, that there is this hidden history, and so people get curious about things that they don't know, or that things that happened which are not recorded in history, and so that would be good. So it's kind of spreading the word. If people know there were these kinds of scholars, so for me it's kind of distribution through multiple geographies. I did a book launch in Madras because it's where this is from South India. And so I was in India in December. So I wanted to see, okay, I live in Sydney and I've written from Sydney. And the modern Maya character is, based on what I see around me in Sydney. But I wanted to also see how people who know the culture, how they respond to this. So I was lucky to get a launch in, it's quite a prestigious place, Madras Book Club. So I spoke about the book, and a real historian, not someone like me who's stumbled into it. So he interviewed me, and so I was very happy because it got some really good reviews. And then I did a little Tamil video for the seniors because I'm a senior. So they said, we want you to say how you got inspired to write a book, after a long career. So the Seniors Association there asked me to do a Tamil video to say you can be writing at any time. So that was strange. And then there were more readers from that group who knew the history, and they liked the book, and they didn't know about. And also the other thing is, the Danish were in India. Nobody knows about the Danish being in India. Even Indians don't know. And let alone the others. And there's a big Danish fort, and people don't know about it. So for me, spreading that word is what I think is success. And and incidentally, if and people seem to like it. I've been getting some very good feedback from different people. So it's spreading the word.
Excellent. Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Hayley? With the
Um,
social
I,
media
I
sort of
really
aspects, yeah.
enjoy hearing other people's inspiration, and how they get their ideas. So I just hope that, when they hear people come along and they hear our stories, they get the same joy. And one of the highlights for me was getting to interview Joanna Nell, who I'm a huge, huge fan of. I still can't believe I even got my words out because I was fangirling so hard. But Joanna writes very similar stories to me, light-hearted fiction about older characters. And I'm just a huge fan. And to get to meet her face to face and actually interview her was a highlight for me because she's such an inspiration for me. So I just hope that we can bring that to other people. I get so much joy out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maria?
I recently retired, so I'm now working as a writer full time.
Woohoo! The
Yay!
dream.
And look, what being an author has helped in my life is meeting all these amazing people and helping them not only to promote, but to, we become friends after a while, and we end up helping each other along the way. I had no idea, even 5 years ago that I was going to retire. I had no date in my head. But now that I have, I'm so glad that Sydney Authors Inc. and the writing groups that I'm part of and the people I've met along the way has enriched my retirement so much more, and my whole life, actually. I mean, my husband and my kids are quite proud of what I'm doing. And, a lot of people say, oh, yeah, but, I want to write a book, but I don't know where to start, and all that sort of stuff. And, and then, I need to make money. Well, if that's your inspiration to write,
Wrong profession.
it's definitely not.
Exactly.
It's a passion. And if that passion works for you, great. But if you want to make money, go and do something else.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Definitely. See, look, we're all going to be in hysterics. This is true. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I just want to add, it's meeting Marie. I met Maria when I met another friend who introduced me to Maria and Sydney Authors Inc. And before I even published my book, it was shortlisted by Penguin for a Write It Fellowship.
Yeah.
And at some point, remember in Summer Hill, before the book was published, I was I had a session. I was interviewed. I think Christine did that in by Authors Inc. And that's how I got to know Maria. And I was pretty inspired by what she's doing. In fact, Maria's in my acknowledgement of my book
Thank you.
that so it's sort of, putting a face to other writers, because otherwise at some point I did take writers courses, but I was in my own world writing,
Yeah, we can be
but
quite isolated. Yeah.
isolating, and then suddenly coming here and meeting people was wonderful. So
Yeah.
Maria and I now have become good friends, and thank you, Maria. It was at
Thank you, Uma. Yeah, we all have. I mean, the
Yeah.
four of us see each
yeah,
other
you've been
reasonably regularly,
regular.
or at least chat. So,
Yes.
Yeah, it's nice,
yeah,
isn't
it's
it? It's
great.
so lovely. Yeah.
Well, what is the most frequent question that you get when you're sitting there with your pub group, talking about writing, talking about your books, publicizing your book? You obviously have people come up and say, I I want to write a book, or I've written a book. How do I publish it? So, what is the most frequent question you've been asked, and what do you hope that people take away from hearing the group speak? Maria, do you want to start?
Um, Usually it's, where do I start? How do I self-publish? And I think we've helped quite a few people not to have to go through the long learning curve that we did when we all started.
Mm.
And I think, a lot of questions about AI and how we feel about it, but it's definitely the self-publishing side that most people come and talk to us about.
Okay.
And look, I'm quite okay with it now. I understand it and I know how it works. But it takes a good couple of years to really know what you're doing. And if they would stop changing the rules when you draft to digital, we'd be a little bit better off.
Yes. Yeah. It has changed a lot in the last even just 2 years, but the last 5 years is yeah. Technology, things like Ingram Spark now allowing you to put the links directly on your website so that you can take back that 35% that went to distributors. I mean, that all of those things are fantastic, and self-publishing has come to a really solid platform, I think, and people, don't see it as vanity publishing. That's kind of, gone with the wind. There's a little bit of that out there, but it's a really solid industry.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
and we are more respected these days.
Yeah.
And traditional publishers are looking at us. I mean, I'm reading Project Hail Mary at the moment.
Yes.
He was self-published. He started
he's-
self-publishing back in the early 2000s.
That's
Yep.
right.
So, we've grown a lot.
Can I say, does being part of a group, has it changed the way you write? So have you found yourself taking advice or responses that people have given and thinking, oh, I'm going to do that? Conchita, what about you?
As you said before, it's a little bit, you are a little bit on your own wall when you are writing. And yeah, obviously, if you hear some idea here or there, you might apply it. But as I said, nothing comes to
Nothing comes to mind? No, that's
mind.
okay.
No, for me, it's in the way of helping writing, the writers group is better because you analyze your story, you realize the mistakes you have made. And in these talks that we have is always more promotion and more informative towards the things that we were saying. For example, self-publishing. I mean, it is very scary when you finish the book and they tell you, okay, well, now you can self-publish if you want. And you go, oh my God, where do I start? How do I do that? I have no idea. And yeah, for me, there is where Sydney Osarsink help a lot.
Yeah, I've used the people in the writers group. We read to each other and we critique the work there and then, or we take it home and we send information. And I've definitely used ideas that other people have given me. And I mean, recently, Conchita with The Robot's Heart, she gave me some really good feedback and it improved the book immensely, I think. So, and I have thanked Conchita and thank you again. So it's, the writing group is different in that we help each other and we spend a couple of hours with each other in this beautiful spot on the Parramatta River. It's a sailing club and it's so conducive to talking about and doing some writing. Whereas Sydney Authors Inc., as we've said, is a promotional arm. It's still a lot about writing and books, but very different to a writing group.
Okay. So if we've got, listeners listening and they're in Perth or they're in Darwin or up in, Brizzy, up in Meanjin there, and they wanted to start something like Sydney Authors Inc., what advice or what key elements do you think would be absolute must? So if you're going to start something like this, these are 3 things that you should consider. Hayley, what do you reckon? Oh, go on, Maria.
Sorry. Firstly, it's time.
Yep. Be prepared for it to take a lot of time. Yeah.
Yes. Secondly is know how to promote it and make it clear what your goals are for the group. And use your resources between, I don't know how many we are, we're 5 or 6, I think. Use the resources between us and be open to ideas.
Also, it's very important as well the place you do it. Because now we are very lucky, we are in Victoria Road is quite centrical in Sydney. I mean, not exactly Sydney, but it's not somewhere lost there. And is a lot of traffic passing by, and is a place where you find by chance. But I'm not explaining myself well here.
Yeah, because Conchita, I was just going to say before when you were all talking about, the questions that we get asked that we like to hear. I love it when we just get people see the banner out the front and just wander up the stairs in the pub and go, oh, I like books. What's going on? Can I come in? And we go, absolutely, come and take a seat. So that people just sort of seeing the banner and walking in is lovely too.
That was my point.
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't sure if that's what you were trying to say, but I was going to say that.
The situation of the place.
Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, I remember one of the markets that we have. I think you were there as well, Hayley. It was...
No, I haven't been to a market with you. No.
Yeah, your mom was there as well.
Oh, that was one of the festivals.
Yeah, when we...
Oh, the book festival. Oh, yes, I was there. Yeah. Yeah.
When we hired the lady for...
oh, yes. Yeah.
Anyway, that one was a little bit of a mistake because it looked like a normal house. And despite we put there a pamphlet or a sign.
Yeah, the first one.
Came in because I'm sure that everybody, the few people who were passing by, look at that and they say, okay, well, one more house.
Yeah.
Couldn't imagine what it was going on there. Whereas here, where we are now, is more...
people can see it.
Yeah. God, you have to do it.
Yeah, because where the room is situated, you've got the bistro, haven't you, just outside the door. So you've got people having lunch in the pub and sort of have lunch and then wander over and go, oh, what's this all about? So you sort of get those people walking in, which is really nice.
Yeah, it's definitely more central and more well known than some of the other places we've been in. And as much as Summer Hill was a beautiful spot, it was it wasn't accessible, and it just didn't work out for us in the end. We're hoping to be at the pub for as long as it's there, because they're talking about renovations. But for now, we've got it as long as they tell us we've got it.
Wow. And so with the pub, I was just going to say, so with the pub, did you speak to them in relation to, can we set up here? Do you mind us hovering for as long as possible? We'll keep buying drinks, we promise.
It wasn't even Adele, who helps run the gallery. She introduced me to Fahim, who is the manager. And he was lovely. And he said, great, we've got this room, the residence room. It's upstairs. You can use it. Oh, wow. And it's actually become known, the Sydney Authors Ink room now.
Oh, that's great.
It's a beautiful room.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
And I think
sometimes the traffic gets a bit much in the background, but I have microphones now. We're getting a little bit more technical with it. So
beautiful. Yeah.
And I think the nice thing about this is it's not genre specific. It's every type of writer and every genre is they come in, they discuss. So we have had traditionally published writers, indie writers, fiction writers, science fiction writers. So I think I love that mix of people and genres that are discussed here at Sydney Authors Inc. So
it's not age limited either.
It can't be, then they'll throw me out.
Well,
except we're in a pub, so you
have to be over 18. Yep.
And Uma, you know what I was just saying about older women being invisible? No, definitely not. You are not getting thrown out. We need you. We need you.
Well, that's the funny...
why I stopped coloring my hair. I said, now I will be visible.
Yes,
absolutely.
Cannot be
beautiful.
Well, that's the tricky thing with writing, with the publishing arm of it and the self-publishing arm of it, because to be retired and writing, fantastic, you've got time to write. but the technology is so hard to get on top of. So, as probably maybe not necessarily a final question, but what do you want authors and writers to know once they've written the book, particularly if they're a bit older and it's harder to get around to that, just understanding that technology side? What would you want them to know, Hayley?
Um, if they've made friendships, within writing groups or they're on social media and they've made some friends, just ask questions, tap into the people and say, hey, can you help me? Because that's how Maria and I became friends, and that's how I met all the other lovely ladies. And just, commenting on each other's social media and, oh, hey, you're in the same city, and just becoming friends. So don't be afraid to ask would be my advice. Just ask. There's always people that are willing to help you, and the writing community is one of the most helpful, lovely communities you'll ever be part of. So just ask. Don't be afraid to ask. That would be my advice.
It's almost because of that at the last writers pub meeting, I said I'll talk about AI and where authors can use, where they cannot, and the pitfalls and what it is. Because I have a background in computer science. My PhD is in computer science. For me, there's no phobia about it. But I want people to not, completely throw it away because it stifles creativity. It's not for creating, but it's to support creativity if we are able to take it like that. So I said I offered to do a couple of demystifying AI and how you can actually use it to support creativity, and talk about that at the Sydney Authors Sync group.
Yeah, that's coming up later this year, Uma.
Yeah.
At our first evening
It'll be
event, Uma
contentious, I
started
tell
it.
you. It'll be so contentious because where you draw the line, where you use it as an assistant, and when it tries to become your advisor, you have to chop it off. You have to know the distinction. It's an assistant, not an advisor. So that's what I'm
I like
constantly.
that. Yeah.
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 I at our first evening event, Uma did a short talk on how to use AI ethically. And oh my God, the discussion, I had to cut it short. I said, look, come back to the
Wow.
next one.
It got a little bit heated in
Heated,
a
huh?
good way. It was
Yes.
a good debate. But Maria's like, right, that's it. Like, but it was, yeah, we could have
We
talked about
can
it all night.
repeat.
It was a very interesting topic.
Yeah. I think it's going to
Can
be
repeat.
controversial for a little bit longer. Yeah. Indeed, indeed. And I won't tell you that there is, who was I talking to the other day? Somebody mentioned that a friend of theirs had bought a small company that had AI something involved, and then decided they definitely did not want to use it because of the speed with which this particular AI had begun solving problems and then started to think on its own. So I could see Skylab, Arnold Schwarzenegger coming at me, and I
Skynet,
thought,
yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah.
Skynet, sorry, not Skylab, yeah, which that's what Ian has just asked me. When we go to WA, do you want to see if you can go and look at the Skylab bits that fell out of the sky? Oh, sure, definitely, yeah. Anyway, so Skynet. But yes, so that was like, okay, so in my lifetime, we may well be slipping into self-aware AI, machine learning. Yeah, anyway. So yes, another day, Uma, and yeah, I wish I could hear that. And perhaps Maria, that might be the first one that you would like to record and put on your website as a sample. That would be a great chat. Yeah, indeed. All right. Last question then. What's in the next 12 months writing wise? And then we're going to finish up with what is SAI doing? So Hayley, let's start with you. What's on your writing list?
I have dove into trying to write a domestic psychological thriller. So
Wow.
I've written the first 6 chapters. So
Yep.
I've always been a big fan of psychological thrillers, like as a reader, and I've always wanted to try and write one. So I have started to put pen to paper, which is really exciting.
Fantastic.
So I will still be writing my lighthearted fiction, but
Yeah.
it's something I've always wanted to do.
Yeah,
And just
great.
hearing other authors even talk at
Ah,
our events, it's sort of given me
yeah.
the courage, I guess, to say, well, I'll never know if I don't try.
Yeah.
So
Good.
And that's what I love about the writing groups.
yeah,
Try. Yeah.
Give it a shot. Fantastic. All right.
yeah.
Uma, what's next in your writing adventures?
So it's another historical novel. and this time spanning about 80 years, starting from South India and ending in Sydney. And so it's about fabrics. Remember, I talked about history in surface, in which are not necessarily paper. And so this is on textiles, the journey of threads and like lost voice of threads. And as they journey from South India, believe it or not, Macquarie, who we know so well here in New South Wales, spent more time in India than here. He was in
Go.
India for 20 years and he
Yeah.
was in Australia for 10 years. So much of what he learned in India. So I'm kind of connecting the two worlds, using textiles as the medium to tell the story of they originated in India and how they traveled the world and landed up in Sydney Parramatta Government House, where there is a 200-year-old bedspread. Today you can see. So it's a family saga in 3 parts. So having fun, a lot of research.
Very good.
That's
Sounds
the
like,
next step.
yes, a few rabbit holes to dive in.
Oh,
Lovely.
absolutely. Yeah.
And Conchita, what's next on your list?
I'm writing another anthology with a few stories, all of them talking about time. I suppose that I am getting old as well, and I want to reach the time that passed by, and you say, "How on earth did it pass?" I don't realize. I mean, it was yesterday when I had a baby, and today she's all grown up, and I don't know. And I think deep inside me, I don't accept it. So I'm writing about that.
Sounds good. All right, Maria, what's next on your list?
I'm about 30,000 words into a companion piece to Fame and Other Disasters, so my television drama. And I've taken two minor characters from the first book. Fame and Other Disasters has now become Music and Other Consequences.
Ah,
So, and it's
Beautiful.
about he's got a music TV show and he's obsessed with Queen and Freddie Mercury.
Awesome.
Who isn't? I love that.
sounds so fun.
Well, he's 27 years old. He shouldn't be.
Oh, well, no. Okay, sorry. You've just,
The music is
all right.
timeless. Freddie's
Yeah.
timeless.
Yes.
That was
True.
timeless.
Yeah. So
And as
what's
far
next?
as-
Go on.
Oh, sorry. As far as SAI is concerned, we're
Yes.
just going to keep plugging at it, and maybe we can all discuss doing Zooms. I don't know. We'll see where we go.
Yeah. Podcasting, just saying. So how often and when is the next event? Sydney Authors at the Pub?
Writers at the Pub
Sorry, Writers at the Pub?
is
The
June
first
3.
Wednesday of May.
June 3.
June 3.
June 3. Yeah, which is a Wednesday afternoon one. Yeah.
And you meet every month?
About that, yes. I mean, Hayley, you're doing July 9,
The
right?
9th of July, which
Yeah.
is an Thursday evening event. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And if authors want to be on your guest list, how do they approach you?
Well, we have a website, so look up Sydney Authors Inc. and the website will come up. You can also contact any one of our authors. We're all on the website, and we will send you a form and go from
social
there.
media
Make
as
your
well.
pitch.
We are all on social
Oh,
media.
yes,
as
of
well.
course. Yeah.
Fantastic. Is anybody on TikTok? Can I just ask? I haven't been able to do the TikTok now. Excellent. That's good. I know it's supposed to be good, but I thought, I can't do one more social media. I can't.
I
Don't
also
want-
got off
don't want to
Substack.
do it. Don't want
you-
to do it. Mm.
Yeah. No. What did you say, Marie? You got off Substack.
Yeah, I lasted about a month.
Oh,
So
dear.
there's just too many.
Yeah, too
Instagram
many.
and Threads is working for me.
Yeah. Threads is working.
I tried TikTok a while ago and I think I lasted 6 weeks because you've got to post every day.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm not doing my hair and makeup to make a video every day. So 6 weeks. It was, and I'm working full time, so it was just,
Yes.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah. No, not with
I,
work.
I
Well,
keep, I keep my LinkedIn update because
yes.
from the past I have so many computer
All those
science
connections.
friends, all those
Yes.
connections. So I didn't want to lose all of that. So I
Yes.
kind of continued. And that I like because you can actually write. I write little historical pieces of or my thoughts and things, not so much on Facebook or Instagram, but more on LinkedIn, where you can actually write some thought pieces. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like
this is
that.
good. This is good. Yeah.
And I'm sure you'd tell all authors and all wannabe wannabe authors that not to be afraid to come up and approach you all. You're all so approachable. There's nothing to fear, even though you think, oh, but my story and who would want to read it?
Yeah, no, come up and say hello. You know, we're here to help.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. We would love all of you to help us with our sign off, which, as you may or may not remember, is to read more Aussie books. So if I do the 1, 2, 3, remember to, if you could help us, that would be brilliant. So Maria P Frino, Conchita GarSantiago, Hayley Walsh, and Srinivasan, thank you so much for your time this morning. What a great way to spend Saturday, talking about books and writing and publishing and promotions. And just, it's easy. We could chat for hours, but we won't because we all have lives to get back to.
And editing we should be doing.
Yeah. And editing. All right. Yes. So please remember, everybody, to read
Read
More
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 Aussie
Aussie
books.
books. Lovely.
Yep.
Thanks, everyone.
Yes,
Bye for now.
Let's meet again, where magic happens.